Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd do a quick life update, how I have been doing with my 2023 goals that I have set for myself, as well as how I've been doing on my low buy year. So I'm going to start off with the goals that I set for myself. The first being that I was going to replace some of my bad habits with healthier habits, and that definitely applies to the shopping and the overconsumption that has been happening with me probably throughout my 40s, but definitely got a lot worse since the pandemic. And yeah, I was mindlessly consuming and doing a lot of impulse buying, and I think social media had a lot to do with that. So the other thing that I would consider to be a bad habit for me besides the shopping was the scrolling and constantly being on social media and following different influencers that were definitely influencing my purchases. And then on top of that, I've had, just some personal kind of past trauma that I wanted to work through, that I wanted to seek out a therapist that specializes in some of the things that have contributed to my anxiety and the things that I've been going through all my life, but have really kind of hit home right around the time that I started going through menopause. And so, yeah, I had a lot of hormone imbalance issues and a lot of just things that were surfacing, like emotional things that have been surfacing with me. So I wanted to get a handle on that. And then the other thing is just, creating more life balance or work-life balance. I started a new job in July, and I really wanted to, get back on track with getting some of the other healthy habits that I want to stick with going in my life. So I'm going to start with, I think, just the shopping and the low buy year. And I'm happy to say that I have been doing a lot better. I started the year really strong because I did actually get laid off and I decided I was just not buying anything, and I was really, really good about it for the first few months. And then gradually I started buying more things, but it was only things that were either on my wish list that I knew I truly absolutely loved, couldn't live without. I mean, I could live without it, let's face it, but this wasn't a no buy year. This was a low buy year. So if I absolutely loved it and determined that I wanted it, and I took a little break and time to think about it, and I still wanted it, I decided to allow myself to purchase it. And I did really well with it, I would say, like I said, the first few months. And I would say the middle of the year, I started allowing myself to purchase more, and I really spent entirely too much in the area of fragrances. And fragrances are something that is so funny. I've started sort of collecting, and I never meant to be a collector. I just am like a fragrance enthusiast, I guess you would say. And I kind of want all the fragrances, but like everything, I think you can appreciate and love things without having them all. So I'm kind of picking and choosing which ones I really need to have in my life. And I've been downsizing my fragrance collection, but not at the speed that I thought I would, because I've been bringing more fragrances in. So that's the one area I have, I think, struggled a little bit this year, but I am aware of it, and it's something that I'm consciously working on. Besides that, I've bought, a few pieces of clothing here and there. I've bought, especially when I started my new job, and I actually just got back from a trip where I was out in Arizona, and it was like crazy temperatures there, and I needed kind of work clothes that were kind of business casual, but yet, good for extreme heat and extreme, like sitting in a ballroom all day long where it's freezing cold, and being able to, still look professional but feel comfortable. So that I did recently do a little bit of shopping around my birthday and picked up a few things, took them with me on my trip. Hardly wore any of it. But in any case, I have allowed myself a few things, especially in my birthday month in September. Bought myself a nice fragrance that I knew was on my wish list again. And, the spending has started to creep up. So I definitely need to be mindful as we get into the holiday season, which is usually the time when I do the most damage. Usually, actually, the fall used to be the most time. So I've been very good this fall, but I would say holiday season is my second time. And I don't mean shopping for gifts for others. I, set a budget for that, and I'm really good about sticking to that. It's all the little things that I start buying myself because I see, they're on sale or something is just calling to me. There's just so many great, promotions and advertising and everything that you can't escape during the holiday season. So I have to really try to keep a handle on it so I can end the year strong. I will say that I have been, I tracking kind of my purchases. And since the beginning of the year, I know the first half of the year I had only been spending probably about, actually the first quarter of the year, I had only spent about 10% of what I had spent that time the year before, year over year. Now I'm at probably about 25% of what I've spent year over year, which is still not bad considering the fact that I'm in a new home, I'm in a new climate, I'm in a new life. And you know, cutting my spending by 75% I think is pretty darn good. So I think that I am feeling very accomplished. And the one thing I will say is that that I've learned from this whole experience, and I will do a whole video about my, at the end of the year, just to talk about my low buy experience. But the one thing that I have learned is that when just even cutting your shopping for like not buying anything unless you absolutely need it or love it, even doing that for like a month or two will definitely allow you to really see and feel and notice the problem. When UPS wasn't showing up every day at my door, and when I didn't have this constant like anxiety about packages coming and going, things I was buying and returning, it was like this constant cycle of craziness. And when I allowed myself to take a step back and then like see how much saner my life was without all of that, I knew I had a problem. So let's just say I am sticking to my new learned habits, and definitely going to continue on this. I wouldn't call it a low buy, I would call it a just more mindful consumption approach to shopping, and using what I have, being more appreciative of what I have, is definitely something that I am still trying to do, and still trying to work towards, and those you will definitely hear more about as I set my goals for 2024. In terms of some of the other healthy habits that I have implemented, I have been really good about sticking to my morning and nighttime routines, where I get up, I journal, I don't scroll on my phone immediately. I do the same when I go to bed. I journal, I try to read a little bit and not scroll on my phone repeatedly. I will say, in terms of my morning routine, I was intermittent fasting before I started my new job in July, and I have completely stopped doing that because my mornings are usually spent pretty busy, I would say, playing catch up for the day. I do work in communications, and mornings are like notoriously a busy time. So for me, I find that I really just need to be more awake, alert, and you know, not having to stop and, you know, take a break during that time. That's sort of like my most focused time. So I have been eating breakfast early again, having my caffeine, doing all the things, and I have not been really good about exercise. That's another area that has slipped a little bit. It's been hard for me to get out and get to the gym, but I do have some things in my home that I've been doing, and I am trying to kind of stick with that until the weather cools down a little bit and I can get out even earlier, hopefully, and try to kind of get back into an exercise routine. And the last thing that I will just touch on briefly is kind of the state of my emotional and mental health. I have been seeing a therapist. I found someone who is kind of an expert in the area of dealing with narcissism or narcissistic abuse in my case. And I have been really just enjoying not only talking to this person, but also enjoying seeing the results of, you know, what kind of creating some boundaries has done for me, not only in my own mental health, but also in my relationships and also in just how I feel about myself overall. I really kind of had to work through a lot of things, and I have been dealing with a lot of things. And even though it seems like I should have done this a million years ago, it's like I don't think I knew myself and knew or had as much awareness of how kind of my past has impacted who I am now. And it's one of those things that, you know, anytime in life when you feel like you're going through something, if you feel like you have your own little internal crisis going on, I definitely recommend seeking out some support. And even if that support is someone in your life who you feel like you can talk to and will listen, I think it's important to get your feelings out and be able to, you know, whether it's learning through books, whether it's learning online, whether it's learning through therapy, being able to work through some of your issues and not keep things bottled up, which is what I had done for many, many, many years, it's definitely helpful. And it's painful to go through some of the things you have to go through, but it's also helpful because you feel, I feel like it makes you stronger. It makes you more resilient. It makes you able to like move beyond the things that maybe have been holding you back in life. And for me, I know just talking to someone has given me, you know, a reason to believe that, you know, everything in life kind of, I've always felt like everything in life happens for a reason, but I really do feel like everything in life is kind of a challenge that you're taking. Every decision that you make, every moment of your life where you have to make a choice, it's your choice to make, and that is what is going to get you either, you know, well or not well, happy or not happy, whatever the case may be for you. And so yeah, I have been really happy that I found a person to talk to who understands my situation and has been giving me kind of great kind of coping mechanisms and things that I can do to kind of help myself get through some of the sticky situations that I have been going through and experiencing kind of all my life. So I hope that's helpful to someone out there. If you have any questions, please feel free to talk to me in the comments below. And if you are someone who is just feeling like you need someone to talk to about, you know, anything that I've talked about, that I'm just, you know, human. I think we can all relate to each other, and it's important to be able to talk things out. And I'm so grateful to have found so many people on YouTube that have really kind of prompted me and given me kind of the reason to actually go and seek out someone who can help me with some of the struggles that I have been going through myself. It's a great resource. Definitely, you could find lots and lots of great content here. And so yeah, that is what's been going on with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. And otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon in my next one. Have a great day. Bye.